business in her business because she's not cheap. She's excellent. And Lisa Bertenquina, I give you credit for that. Thanks for doing my promo and my testimonial. Gabe Berganza, thanks for doing my video, my websites and my branding. And Rick Dalrymple with IOA, 52 offices strong, Insurance Office of America. Thanks for that first boardroom that was able to seat 48 people at. Now, why am I doing that? I want to model something. People that you honor will honor you. If they'll honor you with a meeting, that's the first sign you have favor with them. So you have favor with them. So if you have favor with them, what is it that they can bring to the table? And what is it that you can give them first to open up their heart to say, you know what, I like you. Well, the first thing I do when I shake somebody's hand is I say honored. This is a powerful word because whatever you honor will honor you. And I've always contended that the people may not hear that I said the word honored, but what if they subconsciously did? What if their spirit, there's a thought, heard me say honored, and for some reason, they just go, you know what? This guy made me feel like I'm important. And I like him. If it's a divine connection, there's trust, there's love, there's all kinds of things woven right in from day one, and you can't explain it. You just know you like the guy. You feel like you knew this person for all your life after a half an hour conversation. Well, let me get back to resurrecting dreams. I'm giving you nuggets on things that can help you to resurrect your dream. Favor being one. I could do a month series on favor because of all the examples I have where I recognized I had favor and I learned how to place a demand on it. But before I placed a demand on it, I favored that person or that company with a critical path connection or an introduction to somebody that blew them away. Always be in giving mode first. When I go to an event and network, you know what? I go to find the person I can help the most. You have to drag out of me what I do. I don't have anything to sell somebody. Yes, I consult for money and I mentor because there's sometimes I just know that I'm supposed to do that. And I want to get into mentoring on one program. The thing is, there's a big difference between mentors and coaches. I want to make the distinction. Mentors, they sow, and coaches sell. A mentor you never will see pursuing you. And if they do, run. It means they have an agenda for you. A coach will always pursue you because they plan to sell into you. And coaches have systems that they either bought or they may have developed based upon their understanding of what it takes to birth a dream, for profit or nonprofit. But they very seldom don't have the understanding. Mentors have done it. The best way to find out if somebody's got the kind of stuff you need, a balance of understanding and knowledge, is to ask them if they've ever failed. If they say no, I'm like, they're either lying or they're like 16 years old. It's one or the other. So typically they're lying because everybody at some point, failure is an incredibly important part to succeeding. At least depends what you call success. For great success, you're going to fail. You're going to get knocked down a few times. Just ask Disney. What, 5 bankruptcies, Ford, 5 bankruptcies? I mean, I could sit here and tell you stories of billionaires that I've gotten the opportunity to be mentored by and what I learned. But what I learned is that they failed many times and they just kept persisting. Persistence overcomes resistance. Now, back to this 3 phases of the dream, we hit upon the birthing, we hit upon the death of the dream, but we didn't get to what the show is going to be about, the resurrecting of a dream. Now, how do you resurrect a dream? Well, first, it has to want to be resurrected, and you have to want to have it resurrected in you. And you have to say, okay, I think I learned a few things that I did wrong. I think I'm going to go out this time, maybe do a little market research. You know how many entrepreneurs don't do that? They didn't test their idea and just go out and talk to a bunch of people. Go, what do you think of this idea? What would you do or not do? How would you like this delivered to you as a product or a service? what would make me different from somebody else? So I was making a distinction between coaches and mentors. I think I need to touch on it just for another second. The coaches are going to expect you to do what they tell you to do. A mentor expects you to do what you already know is right to do. I have another book, Mentors versus Tormentors. I started to talk about the balance of understanding and knowledge being a critical component to producing wisdom, and the fruit of wisdom being honor and riches. That formula, U plus K equals W, parentheses H and R, that's actually a physics equation, and that's in another book I've written called The Physics of Wealth. Now, why am I dropping in books that I've written? Listen, you're a walking book, and I'm a talking book at the moment, but we're all books, and people are reading us every single day. And when you're going through fire, people are sniffing to see if you smell like smoke. And the thing is, when you learn how to not smell like smoke when you're walking through fire, you are ready to really move forward, because you've got to be able to be, it's got to be impossible to offend you. Offense is one of the number one enemies of people's destiny. And most people get offended because of their ego. And the truth of the matter is, truth can hurt. And if truth isn't shared with you or delivered to you, as I hope you feel is coming through right now to you, if it isn't shared with you in love, it's just facts. And the thing is, a lot of us have played at different seasons of our life on that field, that playground, if you will, that football field of life. We have played defense a little too long. And you get worn out, you get tired, and you say, are you kidding me? And then some offensive player comes along and says, listen, all you got to do is this. Why can't you score? The problem is, and they start telling you what your problems are, and you're going, who the hell are you? How do you get off telling me what I'm doing wrong? And you get offended, but they probably just told you the truth. Now, if you get offended when somebody tells you the truth, give up resurrecting your dream, give up on a destiny, and go get a job. J-O-B, jump out of bed, jump on the bus, just over broke. Go for it. I offended somebody the other day. It wasn't in a bad way, but it was enough where I put in there some kind of a quote. I have about 750 of my quotes I've framed and put on Facebook over the last couple of years. It was something to the effect of, a salary is a bribe to steal your dreams. You go, what are you talking about? I got a great job, and because I got a great job, one day I'll be able to do my dream. One day, when you get fired, because right now might be the time that you got to do your dream. But the thing is you'll know that you know in your knower that you've got to put everything into this. No focus, no power. Another one of my too many sound bites, intention's power is inseparable from attention's focus. No focus, no power. And I've had many times in my life where I had a full-time career in one thing. I was a full-time musician at night at the same time in my life. And I had 630 stores, 3 trade magazines to run, and a import business bringing equipment in from Germany of photomedical equipment, while I had out in St. Paul a company that was private labeling indoor tanning products for me. I knew what it was to juggle too many things. And the thing that you're going to get into here is I'm going to teach a little bit at times on business sequencing. In business sequencing, I've done a lot of coaching in a lot of industries, and I'll walk in and I'll see that they're doing all the right things in the wrong sequence. And it's like a business sometimes needs a chiropractic alignment. And it's just a matter of somebody coming in and going, you're spending this amount of money on market and research, you're spending this amount of money on marketing, the same thing that you're still busy spending money doing marketing and research on. Why? You either got enough to go with it and start marketing, or you don't. So either stop marketing and go back and finish off this. I mean, you can go, it's so much easier to look at other people's businesses and other people's lives and find what the roadblocks are. So I'm not sitting here trying to sound like I got this all figured out, but I will say this. There have been so many opportunities to learn at the expense of others. Now that's critical. That's what mentors do. They give you the opportunity to glean from them what took them maybe as long as it took me, 45 years in business to figure some of these things out. And, I got to say that all the people I've had the privilege of sowing into, I learned when I was teaching them. I learned from them while I was teaching them. And what I want to establish are some things that'll help you to develop a cooperative or collaborative mindset, because until you do that, you can learn everything from every great coach on the planet, and you're going to be hindered. You've got to recognize that you'll get a better product, you'll get a better service to the world faster if you cooperate with others, not compete with others. Competition serves a purpose, but for me, competition is something I do with myself, because otherwise I'm putting myself in opposition to people that might actually be the best strategic alliances ever. Here's a little story that comes to mind. There was a company I was helping out, and as a corporate networking officer, I make up titles, and I sell myself as a virtual CFO, a virtual CSO, corporate spiritual officer, a corporate networking officer, a chief negotiating officer. You make up chief discernment officer. Based on what that particular company needs, and I can see what they need, I create, this is my position, this is the title, this is what I can bring to you. And you have the opportunity to do what everyone in society is being forced to do right now. Morph daily. You will morph for the rest of your life. I don't think the world has ever been in a state of greater transition than it is now. I have a daughter. She's now a senior at UF, a son that is at Stetson, and he's a music major there. And the thing about it is when my daughter graduated, she gives us an announcement the night that she's going to leave forever, out of the blue, that she's got friends on Facebook that are coming from Ohio to pick her up and take her to Ocean City, Maryland. Now, my wife starts probably having the shakes and crying. Oh, you got to talk to her. I went up and I said, congratulations. That was not what my wife wanted me to say. I said, and here's my tip to you. Whatever you do, don't brand yourself to a company. If it's not your company, don't do it. She goes, why? I said, you're moving to Ocean City, Maryland. That's where I started. And you're going back there because you think maybe you'll find your future in your past. Honey, your future is never found in your past, but go up, have a good time. But if you end up staying there for any amount of time, if you brand yourself to a company, you're going to be confusing in other people's minds, because the statistics say, sweetheart, that by the time you're 38, you will not have had 14 jobs. You will have had 14 careers. Oh, I see what you're saying. I said, brand yourself as you. Brand yourself as you. Well, that's kind of easy for her. She has electric blue hair. So she has branded herself at her, and she has successfully taken herself to all kinds of new heights. She's doing stuff I didn't have a clue she could do. But she has been pursuing her dreams because she knows that you're not going to be satisfied unless you do. She knew that I always had a spirit of dissatisfaction. That is not the same thing, my friends, as a spirit of discontentment. Discontentment is one thing. Success is not the byproduct of happiness, or is it? Yes, it is. I like to play and sometimes throw out things and see if people go, what the heck is he trying to say? You have to be happy before you'll ever be successful. Don't think that by becoming successful, you'll become happy. So my point to my daughter was, I just want you to be happy. If that blue hair is making you feel like you stand out and you get to be you, go for the blue hair. I mean, I looked like Jesus at her age. I mean, I had hair down to my waist and the beard and the whole thing. So you got to be you and brand yourself as you. But one thing I branded myself in every industry, I've been in several industries. I may or may not inflict it on you unless you ask. But